President-elect Donald Trump is wasting no time. With the inauguration still weeks away, he's already rolling out his picks for who he wants to help him lead the country. These are the men and women who will be tasked with implementing his agenda from day one. And let me tell you, these are not your typical Washington insiders. We're seeing announcements coming directly from Trump himself, often bypassing traditional channels, late-night tweets, cryptic messages on his social media platform. It's a stark departure from how previous presidents-elect have operated. And of course, the leaks. Washington is buzzing with rumors, speculation, and the occasional bombshell leak, all adding to the intrigue of this very unconventional transition. First up, let's talk about Marco Rubio. Senator Rubio, who's been a fixture in Washington since 2011, is reportedly being considered for Secretary of State. Now, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. First, you might remember Rubio and Trump going head-to-head, and I mean really going at it during the 2016 Republican primaries. Let's just say there were some tense moments on the debate stage. But since then, Rubio has emerged as a staunch Trump ally. Second, Rubio's foreign policy views. He's known for his hawkish stance on issues like Iran and Cuba, which aligns with some of Trump's own thinking. But Rubio's also a vocal supporter of NATO and other international alliances, something Trump has been much more skeptical of. It'll be fascinating to see how these dynamics play out if Rubio does get the nod. Next, we have a name that might surprise some people, Pete Hegseth. Hegseth, a familiar face on Fox News for the past 8 years, is reportedly in the running for Secretary of Defense. Now, this is a bit of a head-scratcher. Hegseth is a veteran, having served in both Iraq and Afghanistan, but his experience beyond that is primarily in media, not government. He's never held a position at the Pentagon or any other federal agency. Now, Hegseth was an early and vocal Trump supporter back in 2016, a time when many in the Republican establishment were keeping their distance. He was even considered for a role in Trump's first administration, though nothing came of it at the time. And here's where things get really interesting, folks. Matt Gaetz, the firebrand congressman from Florida, is reportedly Trump's pick for Attorney General. Now, Gaetz is a staunch Trump loyalist known for his fiery defenses of the former president, both on Capitol Hill and on cable news. But he's also a deeply polarizing figure, even within his own party. Gaetz has been at the center of a number of controversies, including an ongoing House Ethics Committee investigation into allegations of sex trafficking. Now, a Justice Department probe into similar allegations did not result in any criminal charges, but the cloud of these scandals still hangs over him. Chapter 4, Kristi Noem, a border hawk at Homeland Security. Moving on to Homeland Security, where Trump is said to be eyeing Kristi Noem, the former governor of South Dakota. Noem is a staunch conservative and a vocal Trump supporter. During her time as governor, she made headlines for sending South Dakota National Guard troops to the US-Mexico border, aligning herself with Trump's hardline immigration policies. She's also been a vocal critic of President Biden's handling of border security. If confirmed by the Senate, Noem would be in a powerful position to reshape the Department of Homeland Security, potentially reversing some of the Biden administration's policies. Chapter 5, Lee Zeldin, from New York to Energy Secretary. For Energy Secretary, Trump is reportedly considering Lee Zeldin, the former congressman from New York. Zeldin is a familiar face in Republican politics, having served in the House of Representatives for 7 terms. He's also a veteran, having served in the US Army. Zeldin is perhaps best known for his surprisingly strong showing in the 2022 New York gubernatorial race against incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul. During that campaign, Zeldin ran on a platform that included lifting the state's ban on fracking, a controversial issue in New York. And now for a truly unexpected pick. Tulsi Gabbard, the former Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii, is reportedly being considered for director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Gabbard, you might recall, ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020, but she's since become a vocal critic of her former party, and she endorsed Trump's 2024 bid. Gabbard's potential nomination is sure to raise eyebrows, not only because of her party switch, but also because of her relatively limited experience in intelligence matters. For U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Trump is said to be considering Elise Stefanik, the Republican congresswoman from New York. Stefanik is a staunch Trump ally who rose to prominence during Trump's first impeachment trial, where she delivered a fiery defense of the then president. She's known for her sharp elbows and her willingness to go after Trump's critics, both within the Republican Party and on the other side of the aisle. If confirmed, Stefanik would be a vocal advocate for Trump's America First foreign policy on the world stage. And finally, we have John Ratcliffe, the former Director of National Intelligence under Trump. Ratcliffe is reportedly being considered for a return to the intelligence community, though it's unclear which position he might fill. Ratcliffe's tenure as DNI was marked by controversy, as he was accused by Democrats of politicizing intelligence and downplaying the threat from Russia. Despite the controversy, Ratcliffe remained a loyal Trump ally, and his potential return to government would be a clear sign that Trump intends to surround himself with familiar faces in his second term. So there you have it, a glimpse into the potential makeup of a second Trump administration. It's a cabinet filled with familiar faces, staunch loyalists, and a few surprises thrown in for good measure. What does it tell us about Trump's priorities? Well, for one, loyalty seems to be paramount. Many of these individuals have been with Trump since the beginning, standing by him through thick and thin. Secondly, it suggests a desire to shake things up, to bring in outsiders who are not beholden to the Washington establishment. But will these individuals be able to work together effectively? And what does it mean for the future of American politics? These are just some of the questions that remain to be answered as Trump prepares to take the oath of office once again.